Hey, this is Neil-Asher from the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, where we help Australians just like you start their own online business selling things right here in Australia. We've got over 2,000 members with sales of over $50 million, and you can find out more by going to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. In this video, we're going to find out if a logo is actually required for your Amazon business. So, what is the question I'm going to answer? The question is from Ronnie Isco. Ronnie Isco, top legend, says, how important is it to have a logo? How important is it to have a logo? And that's an interesting question, don't you reckon? How important is a logo if you're going to sell shit? How important is that? Because I reckon it depends how important it is. So, let's think about this in a metaphysical sense. So, the interesting question is, what is the purpose of a logo? What is the purpose actually of a logo? Be delighted to get your feedback on that in the chat. Hey Merrick, how are you? Kathleen, Joanne, Mr. Riley. What do you reckon the purpose of a logo is? While you're typing that in there, let me give you some thoughts on that. And I think it is, for most businesses, it's to have something that is or works towards being nationally recognized so that customers know they can trust you and buy that product. So they're like, I can see the logo, I recognize the logo, therefore I know I'm going to buy something that I've already purchased before or other people have purchased, more important, and they've had a good experience, and so I'm going to be happy to purchase that. And so I think it's to do with trust. Logos are to do with trust, okay? So how important, therefore, is a logo when you're selling online? So let's think about that. So your online logo, I think, can be less important. So your online customers will certainly appreciate the packaging they get, and if it has your logo on it and it doesn't detract from the packaging experience, like if it's not just been put on there willy-nilly, that's a cool word, willy-nilly, then, you know, that's all good. That'll work really well. And also, of course, for social media, it's good for social media. You can put it on there. That's good. Gotta love that. Talk about social media tonight as well. It's a night of nights. And so you can use it across all different platforms. And I think the real thing, as far as online marketing goes, online selling, is this idea of unification. So I'm not talking about Cold War Russia. I'm talking, of course, about social media and having different unification. So your brand is unified across all these different distribution platforms that we have access to online. So Facebook shop, you put your logo on there. Your Shopify store, you put your logo on there. Your Amazon store, your YouTube, your Twitter, your Instagram, blah 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 blah, logo. And so it's unified, so people know when they arrive in one spot, they can trust that spot as much as they trusted the other place that they purchased from. I think that's kind of what's important, okay? Now, let's talk about Amazon, and Amazon specifically, because having said all that, I think it's a little bit different on Amazon. So on Amazon, think about the available real estate that we have. Let's just go to this website here. The available real estate that we have, which is not actually very much. Everything on Amazon counts as far as the available space we get to influence. I mean, this has got A+ content, but still, there's not much of it, and so you've got to be careful with what you use. Now, if your logo is recognized, then of course there is some benefits to using it. But if it isn't, you can kind of argue that you are not best suited to put it on anything unless it's actually going to enhance the sales process, okay? So I know that's kind of contentious, so let me kind of pad that out a little bit more and give you some different ways of thinking about that. The bottom line is, as far as a logo goes, let me kind of reduce it down to its basic essence for you. If you have set up a product on Amazon and your only concern when you set up that product was what can I sell that will make me the most money, and you didn't give a rat's ass about your customers, and you didn't give a rat's ass about their particular journey, and you haven't really thought through what their primary needs are and primary reasons for buying the product, then I think a logo is a waste of time for you. However, if you have given consideration to your customers, given consideration to the people that will buy your product, thought about who that particular individual is, and thought about where they are at in their life and the problems that your product will solve, then I believe getting a logo is important. And the reason I think it's important in that situation is because the second person is far more likely to build a big business online, not just on Amazon, online. And because of that, a logo will become important. If all you're doing is selling shitty stuff on Amazon that you don't really give a crap about, you do not need a logo. Don't waste your money on that. You can waste your money on other stuff instead. That won't be for you. What do you reckon? I think that gives you some things to think about. Hopefully it does. Now, a couple of people here says it's not very important to start with, but becomes important later on. I would argue that whilst I agree with the notion of that, it's important to think about your customers right from the very beginning, and your logo ought to be a function of your customer. Your brand avatar basically should be a function of that. Who is that person? What would appeal to them? Who gives a shit what you like? Unless you are your own customer, which is a cool thing to do. Yeah. So I agree with the sentiment, and just to add some extra distinction to it, you got to think about that shit right up front, in my not so humble opinion. That was a video taken from my regular Monday night Q&A session that we have here at the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. Every week we jump on a call just like you saw, and I'm just answering questions, helping people build their Amazon business. If you'd like to get myself to help you build your Amazon business, you can find out more by going to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. See you on the inside. Bye for now.